Hello, I'm Steve Famine, and I'm going to show you some incredibly effective and easy ways that you can add some graffiti to your city diorama or terrain piece. Now, I wanted to finish this table many months ago, but I think I could finish it in a month, and that means I got to take some shortcuts. So for this project, I ended up using some water slide transfers or decals alongside some hand-drawn graffiti and bombing with mop markers. Similar to adding Warhammer 40k propaganda posters to urban terrain, it gives you an opportunity to use different colors or just add extra small detail to your piece. Now, these water transfers were specifically from Green Stuff World, which is a Spanish company from Spain you can order from. Now, I use this in combination with Vallejo's decal fix, which solidifies everything down. Now, on other projects like my Drop Zone Commander video linked here, I ended up printing my own decals. However, I need this project to get finished ideally sometime in the middle of May. I actually even have a landing pad piece, which until I get my own printer where I can print more decals, I'm not even going to bother painting it, probably until after the rest of the table is finished. In terms of the decal fixer from Vallejo, it kind of blends the clear edges, and I put it under and over the decal after I place it. Now watch here, I basically just band-aid it on. I get it on, I press it, and you can move it around, and you have a little time to work with it after you place it, and then you do another layer of the decal fix on the top. One of the more important parts is to make this not actually look like a sticker. I need to actually properly paint sort of the rest of the piece, or at least this wall in any case. So I started immediately with a watered down kind of burnt umber apple barrel brown as a base coat, and I used the same exact color that I mixed up there actually as my sponge for doing the weathering to the walls. Now I actually use this color throughout the process, and I take my time with this. Like in the last video, you saw me sponge up and weather, and it's an easy weathering technique. That's because it is. However, you have to take your time with the sponge. You can't just smash it all over the place. You have to sit down, take your time with it, press it, add a little bit more paint. You can even remove it if you get a dry sponge. You can actually remove and take the stuff off. It doesn't dry for probably another 15-30 seconds, and you have some working time. But remember, less is always more for a lot of this chipping technique. Again, you have time here. You can add in other effects if you want to, other colors. I honestly just went with the single brown, and then I followed it up with the Agrax Earthshade, which is one of the Citadel or Games Workshop washes. Now, I like this one specifically because I use it on most miniatures. It is expensive, and I do use alternatives for other terrain. However, for this streaking effect that I'm doing, where you saw me just wash the top of that, and then I take a flat edge of a sponge, and I could push straight down, and you'll see this adds a ton of detail, and I can go back and fix it if there's any issues with it by just rubbing it off with my hand. Now, finally, the brown base coat dried, so I'm going to start up with a few dry brushes. I'm going to go with like the normal earth and then bleach bone kind of effect. The 3 layers, that's all you really need to dry brush. Then I threw in some pigments to finish this piece off. And then after this, I'm going to try a few different coats of pigments. I like that on the current terrain and the board I'm working on, and it seems to be effective. I will, however, seal this a few times with matte spray because I want to remove all of that shine possible from, say, the decal, or just in general the original white spray primer, which is a little glossy. It's not entirely flat. Anyway, you can see here I'm actually using a sponge holding the paper towel soaked mineral spirits, clean that right up. You can see the dust around. Then I followed it up with some static grass tufts. I think these are the Vallejo tufts, as well as the Army Painter tufts, a little static grass. Then it can become fun. So with real graffiti, there's something called bombing, which is where you're not really doing anything fancy and you're not highly skilled, but bombing or tagging is just your ability to use a mont marker or a smaller paint can or a rattle can just to exactly what I'm doing here. Just do your sign, and this is probably what you see around your city all the time, even over proper graffiti, which proper graffiti you actually rarely see, like murals actually. It's usually paid or sanctioned, or it's like a local community thing. They spend their time on it. They don't want their work to just get bombed like this. So bombing, on the other hand, you could just do with like paint pens. So like silver, gold, you can kind of write whatever in. So I wrote a combination of Korean letters and then actual tags, and then you can throw in some random minor details, X's, just whatever else. You could add crowns, you could add any kind of detail or unique sort of symbols, or you can just try and write in cursive erratically and see what happens. But the effect, as you can see here, this is exactly what I want. This looks sharp up close and from a distance, and overall I absolutely love this technique. amazing effects, and all of these terrain pieces maybe took me under 10 hours to work on. I would consider these easy techniques to do, and it's something, hey, if you have the right materials or the right products and you know how to combine them correctly, these are just foam core, some GW bits, some cardstock, sand, very basic stuff. However, these effects, this looks great. And the transfer sheet from Green Stuff World, I think, was maybe $12 or something. It was fairly cheap, and I was able to do 4 structures and 6 walls like that. To end this off, please like and subscribe if you want to see more terrain related videos, or I'm going to slowly be leaning into Warhammer 40k videos as I start playing again and diving into the current edition and starting a narrative campaign up. Now, I'm really having a lot of fun with this table. Ideally, I want to finish it in 4 to 5 weeks. I think I can do that. There will be many more videos. I'm going to cut down the length of the videos to probably 15 minutes or so. The last video I uploaded definitely was, I could have cut 5 minutes off of that. In any case, thanks again. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. You're going to see a lot more of this stuff.